What's up, y'all? It's your boy Glad, and I'm back with another video. Today is Superhero Day. Happy Superhero Day. Basically, what is your favorite superhero movies of all time? Even if it's like what superhero movie, if it's Marvel or DC. So basically, I think I will name my top 7 or top 8, whatever, and I will actually name what my favorite superhero movie will be. I almost done finished say what I have to say about the X-Men movie, or that's what I was gonna do. That's what I was gonna say. Then my mom had came in the room, so I kind of like I had to like stop the video. Not stop the video. I had to like end the video and had to delete it and do it all over again. So this time, wish I should have did it earlier, so I don't have to be like, you know. But yeah. So anyway, let's get right to this. Number one is one of my favorite superhero movie of all time is Spider-Man. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man started with Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I really like that. It's Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Basically, we all know what his origin story is Peter Parker get bit. He get bit by a spider. He ended up turned to a spider crawling, all of that. I think the first movie, his Uncle Ben got killed, all of that. So he ended up with Peter in learning how to become Spider-Man and learn how to become have a great power, become great responsibility. Where Uncle Ben told him, and then there are a couple of villains that he had been fighting. Like the first one, he fight the Great Goblin. The second one was Doctor Octopus. Then the third one was Sandman and Venom. So basically, these are the movies that I would like to see. Like see, I would like to rewatch them. And we all know most of these days, and we always saw three villains that was in No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. The one with Tom Holland. Those was the one that we saw at the beginning, No Way Home, things like that. So it was basically that I would rewatch those Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the one with Tobey Maguire. And we all know Harry Osborn. I feel bad for Harry Osborn because Harry, who was Peter Parker's best friend, Harry was trying to kill his own best friend Peter on the third movie. But even on the second, on the first movie, Norman Osborn, who was Harry's father, aka Green Goblin, basically tried to murder Peter, but then ended up murdering himself with a glider. The second movie, I think Harry was so upset. He was mad. He was so obsessed with Spider-Man because he thinks Spider-Man killed his father, all of that. And then basically he realized he got his chance to kill Spider-Man, but he took the mask off to prevent who this person is. Find out it's his own best friend, Peter Parker, is Spider-Man. So basically, that's how the third movie, Harry was so obsessed with Spider-Man, but now he found out that Peter is Spider-Man, and he wanted to kill his own best friend. But basically, Peter didn't kill him. He even told him he didn't kill him. He only killed himself, but Harry Osborn didn't listen, so he basically he got murdered on his mind. So yeah. But will I ever and then Mary don't maybe start with MJ. Mary Jane was the one that was a toxic person. Not all three movies, but only two movies. She was not two. On the third movie, she ended up being toxic. But on the second movie, no, on the second and the third movie, she was being toxic. On the first movie, she did because her and Peter was started to date. She started dating Blanche Thomas. Then they broke up. She started dating Harry Osborn. Their relationship didn't last that long. Then she started dating. She wanted to date Peter, but Peter was like, "Nah, I'm not ready to be in a relationship yet. I want us to be friends." So then the second movie, she started dating somebody else, this and that, and he was trying to be there for her, but she was too busy with Spider-Man. And she was toxic on the second movie. I think on the second movie she didn't know that Peter was Spider-Man until she found out that Peter was Spider-Man. So it makes sense why. Then the third movie, he was there for her most of the time of the third movie, but then he cheated on her with with Captain Stacy's daughter, Gwen Stacy. So basically, it was all the best. So the movie, if y'all had to go watch that movie, y'all had to watch that movie. Will I would watch all three of those movies? Yes, because that's one of my favorite superheroes. So if I was y'all, I would go rewatch all the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and y'all probably know what I'm talking about. The second one the second one is my favorite is the X-Men. I'll talk about X-Men 1, X-Men The United, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Wolverine Origin Wolverine or Wolverine Origin, X-Men The Day of or X-Men First Class, the X-Men Day of Future Past, uh, X-Men Apocalypse, and X-Men Phoenix. Those are the 8 X-Men movies. I never watched the last one because I never watched the last one. Because I heard people say that that last one was bad. So I didn't watch I watched all the other 7 X-Men movies. But I never watched the last one. So basically, we all know these are my favorite, like Wolverine. The first one with Wolverine, where he came all of that, things like that. These are the favorite one. The first one, the third one, Magneto was the main villain on the first one and the third one. But basically, the third one would focus on Jean Grey, because Jean was part of the X-Men. Then the second movie, we thought she died doing when she using her powers to save everybody in that ship. So she basically sacrificed herself on the second movie. I think it was because of that wave, the water. So she sacrificed herself. Then the third movie, she came back to life, and then she killed. Then Scott, who was a Cyclops, in the comics they're together, stuff like that. And then they were together, things like that. They started making out. Then she killed Scott. Then after that, her Wolverine started making out, things like that. Cause remember Wolverine, Logan, he had feelings for her. Basically, he had feelings for her, but Jean wasn't feeling it. She didn't have feelings for him. She only liked Scott. That was it. So basically, Loki was a jealous type that he was jealous of Cyclops the Cyclops, like Jean. So basically, they started getting together, things like that. Then he realized that what happened to Scott, because nobody know that he killed him until they knew earlier that she killed him. Till they found out that she killed him and things like that. And how her powers affected her. Her powers were affected of killing everyone, basically killing mutants and everyone, things like that. So basically, she killed Professor Xavier. Xavier was trying to give her mind, trying to tell her to do the right thing, things like that. She didn't want to hear it, so she killed Professor X, Charles Xavier. Then the final battle, we had that blood. So basically, Jean was the main villain. It wasn't even Magneto. Jean was the only one. She was like a main. She was the main focus of the third movie. She was the main focus of the third movie. That she got killed. She begged Logan to kill her. She kept begging him to kill her. So he finally killed her. Things like that. Well, all the other movies, like the origin story was one about Logan. It's like before he even met the X-Men, before he got with the X-Men, it was just him and his brother, Victor. So it was basically about that. All the other one was just like the young X-Men before they even became older, things like that. Like the First Class, the Apocalypse, and the other one. So will I ever rewatch them? Yes, I will rewatch them. Things like that. And yeah, those are one of my favorite. And the Logan one and the Wolverine one, I think the Wolverine one and the Logan one was good. The Logan one was kind of sad, things like that. But the Wolverine one was kind of good. Because I think the Wolverine one was based off what happened right after the X-Men Last Stand. So basically, Wolverine was doing stuff by himself, things like that. And how he basically can't get over Jean Grey after he killed her and things like that. So it basically was about him, mostly. So that movie was like, I think that movie was right after. Yeah, that movie was like right after Last Stand. I forgot how many years was it, but it was probably was like a couple years, maybe a year or two, right after, uh, right after the X-Men Last Stand. The Logan one was like a couple years after the X-Men, the Day of Future Past. So yeah. The third, will I rewatch them? Yes, I will rewatch them because that's one of my favorites. The third one will be The Dark Knight. Yes, Batman. So I believe, yes, I would like that. The Batman was one of my favorites. Like you got Batman Begin, The Dark Knight Rises. Those are the three that I like because I like. If y'all tell me which one that I like, I think the Dark Knight Rises one because it had the storyline into it because Bane was the main villain, and I think I forgot her name. Ra's al Ghul's daughter wasn't really the main villain, but she was one of the focus of the movie. Things like that. So it basically was focused on the movie. Then the first movie you have Scarecrow, which we already know that was the first Batman villain. The second one was one of the greatest villains was the Joker, and then it was Two-Face was the main villain. You know, Harvey Dent, the Joker, not the Joker, Two-Face, aka Two-Face. He was the main villain also. Then the third movie was Bane. Then you had Catwoman. Catwoman wasn't really a villain. She was like an anti-hero. She was like good and bad. So basically, she was like an anti-hero. So basically, no, Selina Kyle. That was her name. That was Catwoman is. So basically, it was like Bruce Wayne was rich, all that. His parents got killed when he was 10 years old. And basically, all of that, he grew up without parents, but he had a butler. Was Alfred. Alfred was like a grandpa to him. He was like a grandpa to him. So basically, I think he's like a grandpa to him or like a father to him. But basically, he was like a grandfather to him. So it basically, Alfred was there for him when he was 10 years old. So it basically when he was a kid. So it basically had that thing to do. And I think the third movie they did had Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson, I think they did tease on the fourth movie. If we did have a fourth movie, I think they were teasing that Dick Grayson will start become Robin or whatever. But I think that was how they were gonna work out. But they ended where Bruce Wayne, where they thought Batman died and things like that. So we don't know how that was gonna work out. But will I ever rewatch those three? Yes, I will watch them. The fourth one will be the fourth one. I think the fourth one will be the Man of Steel. Yes, Henry Cavill, Superman, Clark Kent, aka Superman. The Man of Steel was one of my favorite movies. Was part of the DC or DCEU because if you guys watched them, I think that Man of Steel came out like in 2013. It came out the same year when I was going to high school in the 9th grade. I remember watching Man of Steel. This is like before, I think it was like that summer. It was like when I was going to be the ninth grade when I was going to start going to high school. My first year in high school. Headed to my first year in high school. And I would remember watching that with my parents and my brothers. I remember watching the movie was good. Like the movie was so good. The music, the vibe to it, the fighting scene was great. Superman, his uncle, was fighting against each other. It's kind of remind me of it's kind of compares to the Invincible. Even Invincible came out way, I think, right after Man of Steel, because Man of Steel was the first one. It had that energy to it, but basically, yeah, I really liked the movie. I really liked it. All of that. It did end it with a post-credit scene where it did end it most of the day to set up the next one where we're going to talk about in this video in just a little bit. But yeah, will I ever watch the Man of Steel again? I would like to rewatch them again. I think those was my favorite movie. When I was watching it when I was going to head into high school. I think me and Josh actually talked about that. I don't think he watched it. I don't remember. But I think we had talked about it. I don't remember. I don't think he did watch it. But I think I did told him about it. I think I told that came out when I was in high school, I believe. I don't remember if I told him that. I think we only talked about which we're going to talk about in this video. Just a little bit, but yeah. But anyway, when I go watch Man of Steel, yeah, best movie. Then the fourth one that I would like, the fourth one is the Fantastic Four. Yes, the 2000 one, the early 2000 one, the Fantastic Four. Yes, that was one of my favorite movies of all time. I really liked it. That was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. And you know, the first Marvel superhero family. And I think that it's really good to see that and all of that. I didn't really watch the 2015 one. I didn't watch the 2015 one. You know, the reboot one. I heard that one was bad too. I didn't watch it. I heard that one was bad too. But I know this week they're talking about the new one, but the part that basically will be a part of the MCU is which is coming out this summer. It's called The Fantastic Four: The First Step, which is another reboot one. So basically, this one is going to be a part of the MCU. But this one, I think this Fantastic Four, that Fantastic Four movie is a part of another universe. But this 2000 version one is the same thing, but it's not really. But you know, Dr. Doom was the main villain of the movie, like the first one and the second one. He was the main villain. But he was the main villain on the first one and the second movie. And I wish they would did Fantastic Four 3. I wish they had it, because the way they ended on the second one with the post-credit scene, I think it would have been more difficult if we would have the third movie. It would be kind of cool. But it would be kind of cool if they did another Fantastic Four movie. The third one. You know, the one for the 2000 one. I think it would be kind of cool to see that. But yeah. So, yeah. So I think that was just like. So I think that was just the one that I really wanted to like about. Now the sixth movie I want to talk about is yes, and yes. Captain America. We had to talk about this Captain America trilogy. Captain America 1, I really liked the first Avengers, Captain America First Avenger. That movie came out when I was like, headed to middle school. Now headed to middle school. That was one of the movies that I really liked. You know, the first Avengers, Captain America First Avenger, when Captain America became, you know, Steve Rogers. He ended up being in the army. He was just a kid. He was just a kid from Brooklyn. All of that. He joined the army, things like that. He had a super serum. He became Captain America. All of that. He started his first enemy, his arch enemies, was the Red Skull. All of that. He sacrificed himself for the cities, states, crashed the plane, And then he got frozen in the ice for 70 years. And we know his love interest is Peggy Carter. And I think that was the right decision. I like Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter was what Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter was one of the couples that I like. That both of them. And also Peggy Carter was based off the spinoff of the Captain America vs. Avengers. So basically it was basically set up in the 40s. So it basically makes sense why. And Steve Rogers was frozen in ice for 75 years. Or 70 years, or something like that. He was frozen for over a decade. He was frozen for over a decade, and all of that. And then now he into this new world, things like that. Then Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was about Bucky. If y'all had watched the first movie, yes, Bucky did die. Actually, he didn't really die, but he was like he just fought off the thing, and then something happened. All the couple years, he was the Winter Soldier. He was just murdering people. All of that for the past couple of years. So we will not know why. So he nearly did die. So we already knew who the Winter Soldier was. It was Bucky. So Bucky was the Winter Soldier. All of that. So basically, he was the only one that was frozen. So basically, he lived, but they had a machine where they didn't they act like they're frozen, so they basically live more longer. So it basically makes sense. And then all of that. Then the third movie was Captain America Civil War, where the Avengers were breaking up, all of that. Captain America didn't want to sign the Sokovia Accord book because he didn't want to be on the American. He didn't want to be on nobody's side because he's Captain America. He doesn't take orders for anybody. He doesn't take orders from the government, all of that. And that's how we end up having Team Captain versus Team Iron Man fighting against each other and all of that. And I think who the main focus was Zemo. Zemo was the main focus of the third movie. So it was basically why. Because he was the main focus of the third movie. I'm not gonna lie. He was the reason why T'Challa, aka Black Panther, he was the reason why his father died. He was the reason why T'Challa's father died because of Bucky. He think that Bucky was the one that murdered him, but then Bucky had nothing to do with it. So that's why it started lead up into that. So yeah. 2 more to go. I got 2 more to go. Well, I watched all 3 of them. I did watch Captain America Winter Soldier, and I did watch Civil War. It was 2 months ago, a couple months ago, not too long ago. But I had watched it with things like that. My brother had watched it, and it was kind of cool. Another one that I would really like to say is the one we're gonna take. The one that I really like is the Incredible Hulk. Yes, Edward something, but that's his last name. But that's the one, the Incredible Hulk, the MCU one. This one that I really like. It's basically compared to the most of the Hulk comics where Bruce Banner became the Hulk. He had the Grammyation. He had the Hulk. He became the Hulk. All of that, and then the army, like General Ross, wanted to take down the Hulk. All of that, take down the Hulk, things like that. And basically, yeah. Then you got Betty Ross, who is General Ross' daughter, who's the daughter of General Ross. And basically who is the lover of Bruce. Bruce Banner, Bruce and Betty are lovers. Basically, she wanted to protect Bruce, but Bruce wanted to protect her because he had the Hulk inside. So basically, even though if you get Bruce Banner angry and push them, he would turn into the Hulk. When he turned to the Hulk, when the Hulk comes out, it ain't gonna be too pretty, bro. It ain't gonna be too pretty. If I was you, I'll be starting running. And the Hulk run way faster than the humans. Hulk run way faster than us. He run faster than us. Bruce Banner, he can run faster too, but Hulk can run faster than any other type of humans, bro. He can. Then yes, you got the main villain. It was Killer Rock was the main focus. It was basically was that I got to do Dave, but he was basically was the army. He was working with Killer Rock. We had seen him on She-Hulk. He was on She-Hulk. So basically, y'all know who I'm talking about. I forgot the dude's name, but he actually was Abomination, and I like the final battle. I like the fight scene between Hulk and Abomination. That was one of the fight scenes that I liked. All of that, and basically, yes, I forgot the dude's name, but he basically was the prison for a couple years and stuff like that. So all the search he thought he was the hero, but basically he was the villain. Hulk was the hero. So yeah. And then he has the post credit scene. You know, always Marvels always have the post credit scene where Tony Stark basically wanted to put the team together. So basically, it was lead into the Avengers. So basically, so yeah. Last one and not least is the Superman versus Batman. Yes, Superman versus Batman. That's the movie that I want to talk about. That movie came out when I was like in the 11th grade. I was still in high school. I was in junior. So basically, that movie came out like in 2016. I really liked it. Josh even watched that movie. He had watched it when it came out. I believe it was him, and it was our other friend. It was the other friend of ours, not of ours, of his, of his that he went to high school with. That we went to high school with. Basically, the movie was good. Superman vs. Batman: The Dawn of Justice. That movie basically led up to Lee White after Man of Steel, things like that. Then we had Ben Affleck, who was Batman. Ben Affleck was Batman, you know, Bruce Wayne. So basically, don't fight with all that. There was the fight scenes, things like that. And I got to tell you, Superman versus Batman fight against each other. Well, you know, Batman had all the weapons to take down Superman. He didn't care. He had all the weapons to take down Superman. All of that. He had the weapons all to take down the Superman. And I really like that. I was going for Superman. I was going for Superman. Cause ain't no way Batman would take all of that to take down Superman. But actually, I was wrong. He did took down Superman. He did took down Superman. Almost tried to kill him until Superman saved Martha, which you know, Bruce have a mom named Martha Wayne, and Clark have a mom named Martha Kent. So basically, it was basically they both their mom name is Mom. No, but basically, but they have a separate last name. So basically, it led to that. Then Wonder Woman, she was in the movie, all of that. You know, Princess Diana, she was in the movie. You know, aka Wonder Woman, she was in the movie. Things like that. Then the main villain was Lex Luthor. He was like the main villain. Things like that. Then Doomsday, it was the final battle with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman fighting against Doomsday. Then Superman sacrificed himself to kill Doomsday and all of that. So basically, it was a hard movie. And I think this movie was lead into the Justice League. The Justice League. So it basically, the movie was good. I really liked it. Yeah, guys, that's all my top 7 superhero, favorite superhero movies. So will I would watch all of them? Most likely. But I think that it'll be pretty fun to see it. And yeah. Like I said, happy superhero day. And yeah. Comment down below. What is your guys' favorite superhero movie? It could be any superhero movie. It could be Marvel or DC. Or both. So basically, what is your favorites? Like, comment down below. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.